The Public Interest Law Foundation, or PILF's mission, is to serve the legal needs of the underrepresented in our community. One of the primary ways we work towards this mission is to provide grants for students working in the public interest sector over the summer. So that you know what these jobs are and what they mean to us, listen to my fellow classmates as they talk about their summer experiences.
The best part about working for public counsel over the summer was the General Relief Advocacy Project that took us into social services offices over the summer to help advocate for public benefit recipients and make sure they were getting the benefits they were entitled to. And it was seeing the tangible results that you can make in somebody's life, even though it might have only been $20 for the day, or maybe it was just securing emergency food stamps for the person. To that person, it really meant a lot. And so, seeing the tangible impact that we can make in somebody's life just through effective advocacy in one afternoon in the course of a couple of hours was really impactful.
The particular unit I worked in was called the housing unit, and we did a lot of eviction defense, helped people file answers to unlawful detainer complaints, and also helped clients out if they were being terminated from housing-related federal services such as the Section 8 housing program.
I had a wonderful experience at the Public Defender's Office. The first half of the summer I was actually in the juvenile court out in Pasadena. That was a very unique and interesting experience because the juvenile process is just so different than other criminal adult courts, and it was very client-oriented. So I did a lot of interviews with the children coming in, finding out what actually had happened and going through their rights with them and explaining to them what my role in the process was. So it was a great learning experience for me when it came to client interaction and being able to explain the law in layman's terms that makes sense to even children.
My PILF grant last summer was to work at the Los Angeles County Public Defender's Office, which was really an incredible opportunity. I was able to see every aspect of felony and misdemeanor trials, get to interview clients, get to be in the courtroom, even sit at the table with counsel during trials, go back into lockup. It was an incredible experience.
PILF definitely allowed me to have really meaningful summer experiences, both the summer between my first and second year when I worked at public counsel with the Homelessness Prevention Law Project, and then between my second and third year where I worked at the district attorney's office in the major crimes unit.
I chose the LA Gay and Lesbian Center for several reasons. One was because I'm very passionate about LGBT rights and equal justice for all, no matter your sexual orientation or gender identity. And then also because I felt it was, it's a large community center and it's a great way to get to know LA. I did a lot of helping clients fill out paperwork and going to court with them to get civil harassment orders or different things that they needed to go to court for.
So I used my PILF grant this summer to work for the Alliance for Children's Rights, which is a public interest organization in LA that helps impoverished children in the foster care system. So there's a number of different program areas ranging from special education to healthcare, to adoptions, to public benefits, which is the group that I worked with. And we basically advocated for kids in the foster care system to get the amount of public benefits they were entitled to.
With my PILF grant this last summer, I worked in Cebu City in the Philippines, and I worked for an NGO called the International Justice Mission. And IJM is an NGO that works to combat human rights abuses around the world. And in Cebu, particularly, they focus on trafficking of children for sexual exploitation. So what I did was help out IJM lawyers in the prosecution of trafficking offenses, and particularly trafficking of minors for prostitution.
One of the most memorable litigants I worked with while volunteering at the clinic was a young gentleman who'd recently gotten out of prison and wanted to bring a civil rights claim for abuse he felt he experienced while in prison. He had gotten into trouble with his litigation because a lawyer he had obtained had stopped representing him in the middle of the process, and the judge was upset that the litigation was going on too long and he wasn't doing anything. He was very confused about the whole process, and he came in and I worked with him one-on-one in a room to help him draft his pleadings and try to keep his case in court, and I felt that very valuable at the time because I thought this man had a real claim, and I was one of the only people he could find to help him keep his claim in court and be heard by the judicial system.
It was a great experience because I really got the whole gambit of experience. I was able to have client interactions and follow an attorney and see what a day-to-day job it is, and I also was able to do research and writing and develop those skills.
Basically, I wrote motions, I attended trials, I collaborated them and developed trial strategy. We also worked on training for government attorneys in the handling of trafficking cases, and they actually had their first conviction for a trafficking offense while I was there.
Over the summer, I was evaluating whether being a public defender is something that I could or would want to do. So I came in with that mindset, and it was an incredible opportunity to experiment and find out whether the objections that I had with becoming a public defender were true or not. And so I was able to test throughout the summer, even to the point of going to the thing which I found the most difficult, which was going to a sex offender trial and seeing if that would be a deal breaker. And it was incredible to get to think about the client really as a human who deserved to have someone stand up for them regardless of what they were charged with.
I know now I'm a little bit more interested in real estate and landlord and tenant law than I am in other fields, and so it definitely helped me figure out where I want to try and focus on from now on into the future.
I always wanted to be a prosecutor, and I'm not so sure now. I could see myself really as a defense attorney or a prosecutor, but I think, again, it goes back to getting experience. I think I'll probably have to get some experience in the DA's office to try to then decide.
PILF is one of the best things about USC. It's been the best thing about my experience at USC. Having the opportunity to work directly with clients over the summer and during the year has really rounded out my legal education.
I think for me, just getting away from the books and actually using what I've learned as a 1L and putting it into practice made it real to me. It made it come to life. Just being able to talk to these people on the phone every day and know that you're actually doing something with what you're learning. So I think with public interest you get a chance to really do direct service work, which you may not really get to do otherwise. So I know that I'm always going to be somehow involved with the public interest community in Los Angeles throughout my career.
I loved the experience of volunteering with my clinic so much that even after the summer, I continue to volunteer with them throughout this current school year, and hopefully will continue to volunteer with them throughout my time at USC. I'm constantly learning new things and feel like I'm constantly sharing my legal knowledge with a population that really needs it.
Right now, I'm planning on going into the private sector and working in a private practice. However, I know that public counsel is always going to be here in LA, and I always want to stay connected with public counsel. Even right now, as a second-year law school student, I'm still going out on these general relief advocacy project outings to local social service offices. And so I know that it's something I'm always going to stay connected to, and hopefully I can take on cases more in the future with public counsel once I'm actually a practicing attorney.
Next summer I'm going to be working for Morgan, Lewis & Bacchius, and they are giving summer associates the opportunity to spend 6 weeks at the firm and 4 weeks at the public interest organization of their choice. So that was very attractive to me when I decided to work for them, and I definitely want to work for a firm that has a high commitment to public interest work.
I continued to volunteer with public counsel during my second and third year during the school year. I just fell in love with that organization, and the people there are just amazing individuals. They're the kind of lawyers that I want to be when I graduate.
After getting my PILF grant and spending my summer in the Philippines, it's only solidified my desire to work in the field of international human rights, and I enjoyed the experience tremendously, and I know that that's what I want to do long term.
The PILF grant was critical. It made it a really kind of a no-brainer for me to take this job at the Alliance. It was a way to do what I really like to do and pay my rent at the same time, so really very appreciated.
If I had not gotten the grant, I would not have been able to work at the Gay and Lesbian Center. I would have had to find another job, probably not even a legal job, in order to make ends meet for the summer. Being able to work there gave me the opportunity to do what I wanted to do and also gain great experience working with clients. It allowed me to kind of realize that in LA and in other cities, there are very few affordable resources for clients that can't afford regular legal services. So it was great to be able to feel like I was helping someone who really needed it, who really had no other options, who really had no other choices. And we were doing like good work and actually like making a difference for people. So that was a very positive experience.
If I hadn't have gotten the grant, I probably would have had to take out some more loan money in order to subsidize my summer living, or had a part-time job on top of the law job. But I really think that I would have taken out the loan because the importance of the experience at the law job at the public defender's office was so great that I wouldn't want to compromise that by being too tired by having to work another job. I've
Actually been interested in this particular organization, IJM, for a long time, and just financially it wouldn't have been possible without a grant. It just simply wouldn't have happened. I would have had to have done a paid internship and stayed here, and I never would have had this experience.
In my mind, PILF grants are crucial to what makes law school great. It gives people the opportunity to go out and help rather than just looking out for themselves. They can look out for other people. And if you never have the chance to do that, you might never find your passion or never find what really makes you alive. And so I'm extremely grateful.
Thank you, PILF donors, for providing me with great opportunities both of my summers during law school, and please keep giving so that more students can have these opportunities.
I know that my opportunity in the Philippines was a tremendous experience that I'll value for the rest of my life, and I also know that I made a significant contribution to the fight against human trafficking in the Philippines.
What you're doing is supporting a really good cause. It's enabling law school students to go out there and not only hone in on their skills, but to actually help people that are in need of legal services. Thank you.
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 Thank you.